Welcome to Teleseminar Basics. You are listening to Part 1 of the 4-part series entitled Teleseminar Basics, a beginner's guide to cashing in on teleseminars. What is a teleseminar? If you have ever worked in a business office, you are probably familiar with this term, previously known as teleconferencing. For those who are unfamiliar with either term, teleseminars or teleconferencing involve a telephone call among a group of people who usually all phone the same telephone number to be connected to each other. Though it is not a new concept, the telephone meeting idea has gone through many technological changes through the years. It started as a simple office conference call among employees in long-distance locations. Today, technology allows the host or presenter to include training sessions, sales and marketing presentations, PowerPoint presentations, videos, and much more. They are becoming increasingly popular as people come to realize the cost savings of a teleseminar compared to an in-person presentation. This is especially true of businesses which have locations not only nationally, but internationally as well. The cost savings in travel alone can more than cover the cost of the equipment and service itself. One company has a conference call scheduled weekly between their Delaware office and their office in Dublin, Ireland. It would be economically unfeasible for everyone to get together in person to have a meeting on a weekly or even monthly basis. Colleges have also adapted this practice as part of their distance learning program. The student must take it upon themselves to be disciplined enough to know what needs to be completed and when in order to meet the requirements of the course. The teleclasses are not limited to colleges by any means. Companies have taken to using them as part of their on-the-job training and mini courses that are available on the Internet. As we look toward the future, teleconferencing will likely evolve into video conferencing. Video conferencing is being done more and more widely, and it is likely to become commonplace, especially with so many people becoming interested in working at home or wanting less travel with their jobs. All of this technology is wonderful in its place, but teleconferencing cannot and will not replace the in-person seminar or meeting. The telephone will never replace the personal contacts and relationships that are developed through people getting together as a group, nor should it. However, teleconferencing does provide a way to bring people together effectively and inexpensively, and it represents an opportunity for entrepreneurs. How did teleseminars become so popular? Alexander Graham Bell could never have known what the potential for his invention really was in 1876. As technology evolved, and with the advent of the home computer age, marketers learned how to use teleseminars to their advantage. Some send an email to the attendees with a link for them to access handouts, graphs, an interactive website, or a PowerPoint presentation. Some teleseminar providers even allow for a real-time presentation for those who have internet access and choose to utilize it for the presentation. This is done with the use of special software that is shared with the participants to allow them to see the same thing at the exact same time. Some larger companies are doing this on a regular basis with the use of a web-based program such as WebMeeting. It's only a matter of time before this concept becomes affordable enough for internet marketers and teleseminar hosts to use it on a regular basis. This technology has also given profit-seeking entrepreneurs a new way to make money by selling their products and services over the telephone and/or internet instead of having to travel all over the country for speaking engagements or sales presentations. This means instead of speaking to a crowd of maybe 5,000 to 7,000 at a time, they can potentially be speaking to millions of people all over the world. Why be on the road for 2 or 3 days at a time when it can be done with a telephone? For the educational system, it's even better because it draws in more students. Why is that? It's a time factor in most cases. For the potential student who did not have the funds to go to college right out of high school, it's a way to get that education they so desperately want. This student is working full-time, may be married, and may even have a family. Distant learning gives these students an opportunity to take classes when it's convenient for them, or at least be able to take the classes without having to worry about family matters, such as finding a babysitter. For corporate training programs, it means the company can train more people at the same time or spend less time on a trainer to provide the classes. Whether the company has an in-house person to do the training or the company outsources this function, it's going to save them money if even part of the training is done in a teleseminar environment. How does it save them money? In the case of an in-house trainer, it means they can spend less time on each training class, providing them opportunity to operate more classes at the same time or leaving them more time to do other work within the company. If the position is outsourced, it means the company is paying less in training hours and can invest that savings into other training programs, salaries, benefits, or simply into the company's profit base. Why teleseminars are more popular than ever? As with any other new product or service, people are skeptical about trying them. They want to wait until more people they actually know personally have tried a particular device and can give them some valid information. The same is true of businesses, especially small businesses that do not have the funds to take huge risks. As a result, it has taken many years of research and development for the concept of the teleseminar to really catch on. Of course, it also required the cooperation of the telephone company, whose equipment had to progress enough to allow this technology to become useful. The evolution of the telephone to what it is today is helping make the world of business and business meetings a smoother road for the employees who must attend them. The use of a teleseminar bridges the gap between the cluttered and impersonal internet and the time and expense involved traveling to meetings in other cities. Recent advances in technology have made it possible for the small business person and the entrepreneur to set up and conduct teleseminars at a reasonable price. It would have cost thousands of dollars for these same services just a few years ago. As new technology evolves and new systems are developed, it will be even cheaper in 10 or 20 years. As with any new technology, the longer it is available, the cheaper it becomes. As the service becomes less expensive, more people will be willing to make that initial investment in a sophisticated teleconferencing system. We've already seen that happen with the computer, VCRs, and DVD players, which are now part of at least 50% of households. When the Beta VHS system came out in the early 70s, it was over $500 to purchase. But now a combination DVD-VCR generally costs under $300. Again, these changes have shaped our world into what it is today, and people who were skeptical about trying these things became comfortable with them. These same skeptics will be the biggest supporters of the teleseminar in years to come. It needs to be stressed that the teleseminar and the Internet do not stand alone as separate entities. In fact, mixed delivery, combinations of the two as well as other communications tools, is paving the way toward the next revolution of information delivery and interactive products and services. These combined delivery methods with multiple media allow the presenter to offer digital information and personal contact, which provides a more complete learning and relationship development experience. With the combination of the audio on the telephone and the video that is available using the Internet, the learning experience becomes more complete and the audience will retain more of the information that is presented to them. In doing this, you have the potential for returning clients since they know by joining your teleseminar they will receive clear and concise information. Another advantage to using telephone calls instead of physical meetings is that they can be transcribed for back-end information products such as audio or video cassettes or DVDs, audio CDs, and transcripts. These products open up an entire market for distribution and profit-making ventures. With the addition of DVD burners, MP3 recorders, and other similar technology, the market is even wider and is growing more extensive every day. What once was a luxury only afforded by large corporations is now affordable and accessible by the average business person. Even the sole proprietor can use this technology to communicate with customers and sales representatives instead of a one-on-one meeting or having to travel to meet a salesperson for a demonstration of a new product or service. The new technology products make it easy for you or your teleseminar service provider to make transcripts of your presentation. Depending on your preference, you can have your teleseminar recorded onto a website for people to access, or you can choose to have it recorded onto a CD and offer it for sale on either your website or another website where you will direct customers who are interested. Be certain to include these URLs in your handouts prior to the start of your teleseminar, and remind your participants several times during the participation as well. By offering transcripts of your teleseminar, you will continue to make money long after the initial telephone call has ended. Even if you don't want to do a voice recording, you can sell reprints of your seminar through the use of a PDF file, setting it up in a secure format so that customers will have to pay in order to access the file. How to get started. Before you consider doing your first teleseminar, be sure you have attended teleseminars presented by professionals, especially those who provide similar material to what you are considering. Attend these teleseminars, read the handouts, purchase the transcripts, and participate in the follow-ups. After you have attended enough teleseminars presented by other presenters that you have an extensive knowledge of the business, you are ready to start putting together your first teleseminar. Here are some tips for giving a successful teleseminar. Number 1. They work best for information-based training. This doesn't mean you can't use them for sales presentations or any other product you wish to promote. Rather, it simply means they don't work as well for those purposes. Number 2. When you send out your pre-seminar package, be sure to include the date, time, phone number, and login code if needed. This will prevent last-minute rushing around and also allow you time to resend the information in case someone contacts you who hasn't received theirs prior to the start of the teleseminar. Number 3. Since the listeners cannot see the page you are holding, it is important that you number the pages in your handout. This will make it easier for the listeners to follow along and know exactly what topic you are currently covering. Number 4. Either reserve a conference room or pick a quiet room so callers won't be disturbed by background noises from your telephone. Number 5. Be ready at least 15 minutes before the scheduled start time. In some cases, listeners call in early. Number 6. Be sure to have paper, pens, handouts, cheat sheets, teleconference codes, the list of participants, and any other necessary materials by the phone. Number 7. Do not use a cordless or mobile phone, as these may cause your listeners to hear static on the phone line. Number 8. Wear a headset if possible so that your hands will be free to make notes. Because of its tendency to make the speaker sound far away, avoid using a speakerphone. Number 9. Turn off call waiting so that your call will not be disturbed by the beeps. Number 10. Have a clock in the room for keeping track of the time. Number 11. Be sure to check the sound quality of the call at the very start of the call. Ask your callers if they can hear you, and if you are using a headset, be sure the microphone is adjusted for the best sound quality. Number 12. If you have fewer than 12 participants, have each person say their name and location in order to build a rapport. Number 13. Stand up while you talk to make your voice sound more vibrant. Number 14. Do not read word for word from a script. You want to make your voice sound natural, and very few people can do that when reading from a script. In fact, it takes a very good actor to read from a script and make it sound natural. There is no quicker way to lose your audience than for them to know that you are reading from a script. They don't want to pay good money for a teleseminar just to hear someone read. They can do that without being on the telephone. Number 15. To avoid reading from a script, use a cheat sheet with a bulleted list of key points you want your listeners to remember. In this way, you will recall what you want to cover without sounding like a robot. Number 16. Be sure to reinforce your key points frequently throughout your talk in order to keep your audience on track. This task is much more difficult on the telephone than in person because there is no face-to-face contact. The attention span on a telephone call is much shorter than that experienced in a live presentation. Number 17. Repeat any URLs and email addresses so that your participants can write them down if they choose. This information should also be provided in your pre- and post-seminar packets. Number 18. During your presentation, be sure to periodically ask your audience if they have any questions. This will give them an opportunity to participate in the discussion and possibly prevent them from losing interest. Number 19. Allow for periodic breaks. A good format to follow is a 10-minute break after 50 minutes of discussion. This will give your listeners a chance to stretch, use the bathroom, or check on their children. And finally, number 20. Be sure to manage your time wisely. Your outline should have an estimate of the time that is needed for each section. Stay as close to this time estimate as possible to prevent having to cut your call short before covering your key points. Your listeners have adjusted their schedule based on your time estimate, and they may have other things to do when your presentation is completed. So how can you make money with a teleseminar? A teleseminar resulting in a great amount of profit can be planned, scheduled, and conducted within just a couple of weeks. Of course, doing this assumes that you already have a list of potential buyers. But if you have a good product and the right marketing approach, there are still ways to gain access to your target market, though it will take just a bit more time and training in order to accomplish the same result. If you want the success badly enough and are willing to do the work that is necessary, then it will happen for you. It isn't a get-rich-quick scheme, so if you're looking for something that will make you a millionaire overnight, this is not what you want to do. This business requires time, effort, and patience. There are no guarantees in this business, but you can make it work if you have enough of the burn to want to be successful. Though teleseminars are more commonly used for training or by people who have something to sell from a website or store, it can be used as a tool for marketing just about any product or service. The presenter of the teleseminar only needs to have a scalable concept that he wishes to present to a target audience and a marketing plan for presenting it to those people. As we have already learned, a teleseminar provides the means for getting the information to a larger target audience in a shorter amount of time and at a lower cost than person-to-person contact. That doesn't mean you should discard the use of person-to-person marketing concepts, but when trying to set up your customer base, you want to reach the greatest number of people in the shortest time and the lowest cost. Person-to-person marketing has been done for many years and still works better than telephone contact. But when starting a teleseminar business, you may not have the financial means to rent a place to hold your meeting to or travel in order to make contact with your prospects. In that respect, teleseminars will gain you the most for your money outlay. It is important to keep in mind that in order to make money with a teleseminar, you must have a marketing plan. Treat it as you would any other business venture because that's exactly what it is. Even though you may be using it to promote another business, it must be treated as an entity in and of itself or it won't work for you. After all, you wouldn't open a business without developing a plan for bringing in customers, so you shouldn't do it with your teleseminar either. The first step in creating a marketing plan is to address 4 specific areas. Area number 1, target audience, those who will be interested in your product or service. Area number 2, your personal objectives, what you expect to gain from the venture. Area number 3, your market competition, others who are offering the same or similar product or service. And finally, area number 4, your available budget, how much cash you have available to invest in a marketing plan for this particular project. So some of the ways you can make money with teleseminars are courses, such as college, business, or any other kind of training program, products and services that you sell on behalf of a manufacturer or a service provider, arts, crafts, and books of your own that you are selling, travel and vacation packages, reunions, speaking engagements on various subjects, internet or network marketing like Amway, SFI, and many others, health, beauty, and self-help seminars, real estate, politics, religion, motivational speeches, sales presentations, management and or employee meetings. Again, these are just a few possibilities, but there are many more. In fact, according to one professional teleseminar provider, there are actually about 25 different types of teleseminars. Whenever there is a product or service to be sold, it can be done through a teleseminar. As long as you follow the concepts of a proper marketing plan, you will accomplish your objective. Do not attempt to cut corners in order to save time, because in the end, it will take more time when you have to start all over again. Always live by the rules we were taught as children. Anything worth doing is worth doing right. Also, keep in mind that if you do have to do it over again, it will not only take more time since you'll first have to undo what was originally done, it will result in the loss of potential sales. Whether you are a business owner or manager with products to sell or a public speaker with something to say, you can make money using a teleseminar to market your product, service, or information. The key is in the marketing. But if you are using the internet to do any marketing, be careful that you are not spamming. For those who are unfamiliar with the term, it means sending unsolicited emails. It doesn't have to be anything you're selling. It can be free information, but if it's unsolicited, it's spam, and you can lose your internet account for doing it. It is always best to start with your customers since they obviously are already interested in what you have to sell or present. But if you are just beginning your business, you may not have a customer base yet. For this reason, it's important to learn just what type of marketing techniques work, which ones don't work, and which ones may even cost you the loss of potential future earnings. The future of your business depends on your knowledge about the market and your product or service. Following what others with a similar product or service do will assist you in perfecting your personal marketing concepts. An opt-in email list is one marketing tool that can be utilized. With this tool, people sign up to receive mailings based on certain criteria that they identify when they agree to join the list. When joining these types of lists, be sure to read the terms of service agreement because some allow for unlimited solicitation and others only permit a certain number of solicitations per day or per week. It is also advisable when joining one of these lists to use an alternate email address so that you don't clutter your main mailbox with the advertisements that will come into your inbox. Some of these lists have a fee attached to them, but there are plenty that are free. So before paying to use an opt-in email list, be sure to explore the free options. The important thing about using these lists is to choose one that deals with your subject matter. That way, people you contact are more likely to be interested in signing up for your teleseminars. Another kind of list is an email group list that is set up for the sole purpose of advertising. On this type of list, no addresses are given and no one has access to the member's information except what is available in a public profile. The list is closed, meaning that only members can post and read advertisements. This type of list also has an option that an opt-in list does not. You can choose to read everything at the website and not have it come to your email box. Some of these lists do have a requirement that you at least subscribe to receive a daily digest, which means you only get one email daily with all postings from that day. But there are many who will allow you to simply look at everything on the website. It depends what preferences the owner and moderator uses when starting the list. It is, after all, to be an advertising tool. And if everyone on the list chooses to read on the website, there is no guarantee that the purpose of the list will be met. That is the reason many list owners tell members that they must at least agree to be on a daily digest. Otherwise, it will be impossible for them to receive the numerous advertisements from the other list members. Setting up a website describing your product or service is one of the strongest and best tools available on the internet. It can also be quite inexpensive with the variety of free or inexpensive web hosts that you can find on the internet. If you're not an internet website guru and don't know HTML, look for those who offer a site builder like tripod.com, where you can choose your design and add any HTML code simply by copying and pasting that code that has already been written. Keep in mind that if you go with a free web host, you will have to do all the promotion yourself, but there are also several places on the internet where you can submit your site to the search engines for free as well. Submit Express is one such service. It sends your site to 40 search engines and offers a free meta tag generator. There are others as well. The important thing when building your site is the use of meta tags, which are keywords embedded within your site's code, allowing the search engines to find your site and place it properly. This is the only way anyone is going to find your site, so it's important that you be very specific when creating meta tags. Having your own site also allows you the option of having a signature line to your email, so that every time you send an email, you are promoting your site without spamming anyone. With just a tiny investment in time, the time it takes to add an automatic signature line to your email preferences, you will be promoting your own website and likewise your business every time you send out an email. Classified ads are another type of marketing tool that is available both on and off the internet. On the internet, there are dozens of sites that allow you to post your ads for free. Some of them, however, have a catch attached that can be one of two things. A, you post their banner ad on your website, or B, you agree to placing a link on your website. You may also wish to place classifieds in your local newspaper, but none of these is free. In fact, many are quite expensive, especially when you compare them to the number of free classified websites that are offered by the internet. Free-for-all pages are another tool some people might want to use, but they have their drawbacks. The way they work is you post a link to your website to the page and agree to receive information from other people who also post to the page. Instead of receiving good leads for your own business, You usually end up with a mailbox full of other people's ads, most of which are not from the type of prospects you are attempting to recruit. A marketing plan is like any other part of your business. You have to customize it to fit your needs. You can't just throw something together spontaneously. There is a thought process that must be utilized based on what you expect to receive from the business. That is going to differ for those who are looking at this as a business venture and those who simply want to get a message across during the short term. As with any venture, business or otherwise, you are only going to get out of it what you put into it. These methods are not all used by every single teleseminar presenter. Norman Reed, president of Reed Marketing, reports, "Although we definitely use the web, opt-ins, and word of mouth heavily, these are more means to an end than true marketing strategy, and we rely heavily on about 10 different strategies to get people on the calls." According to Mr. Reed, there are 12 different profit centers, but not all teleseminars will utilize all of these. Some only 1 or 2, others 8 or 9. Mr. Reed also states, most teleseminars are poorly run, poorly attended, disorganized, and are financially a dismal failure, and a core reason why so many people start doing them and quickly get out of it. Profits are across the board. Many lose a few hundred or 1,000, and others regularly do 6- and 7-figure profits from a single call. By now you are probably thinking, the writer is spending a lot of time on the marketing end of the teleseminar. Yes, that is true, but you have to understand that without marketing, you have no business. Look at any business that exists. Movies, books, retail, theater, real estate, and the list goes on and on. The success achieved by the people who are the key role players in their business is the direct result of having a marketing plan that is customized to their needs. Failure to devise and utilize a proper marketing plan will be the demise of your business and ultimately your financial security. Listen to those in the business by reading their books and attending their seminars. Experts like Norman Reed, Joe Ehlers, Michael Cage, and others have been where you are and are now where you want to be. They are willing to take time out of their busy schedules to show you how to obtain success in the teleseminar business. But you have to be willing to make the time and financial investment in order to learn how to do it. So, what is the secret formula for making big money hosting teleseminars? This secret formula has 5 critical steps to assure maximum profit. Number 1, you need a high-impact teleseminar topic that will draw in the kind of people you desire for the product or service that you are selling. Number 2, you need a pre-call marketing plan that attracts the high-quality, motivated buyers who will be interested in your product or service. Number 3, you need to develop a call that sells. The right hook, format, the right strategy to keep your callers from leaving the call, the answers to 7 common objections, and the right close, just to name a few. Number 4, you need a powerful and profitable after-call marketing strategy that will help double your profits. And finally, number 5, you need strategies that will help you leverage and reuse successful teleseminar tactics in order to continue making money from it week after week. All of these factors are important and go together in helping making your teleseminar business as profitable as it can be. These strategies will differ according to the product or service you are promoting and what you expect to receive from your teleseminar business. In order to customize these ideas to fit your own needs, listen to what other teleseminar hosts have to say by buying their books and transcripts. Yes, this is a big investment when starting out, so start with the free teleseminars and listen to as many of them as you can to get a feel for the business. After your business starts to bring in some profit, invest in some tools that will help explode your business. According to the teleseminar host Michael Cage, there are over 142 different tactics and ideas for making big money using teleseminars. Cage is so successful doing this that he has developed an entire program devoted to showing others how to make big money in teleseminars. Of course, he is not the only person who has done this. Just search the internet and you will find dozens of similar programs. We do not endorse any one program because each one has something different to offer, and therefore what works for you may not work for someone else. It's important for you, as part of your business training, to research the techniques of other speakers who are in the business and find out how they make it work. So what are 11 key reasons for considering the use of teleseminars? 1, they can be used by anyone to increase sales of existing products, develop new income generators, and improve productivity. Number 2, they offer a means of personal contact not afforded through the internet. What this does is help build trust and credibility, which in turn helps gain new customers and retain the old ones. Number 3, they allow the presenter to reach into the global community without the cost and inconvenience of travel. Number 4, they offer an alternative to a local meeting. Number 5, they offer the opportunity to exchange ideas with people on a wider, global scale than a person-to-person meeting. Number 6, they give you more control of the sales process by creating an atmosphere of involvement, interacting with the listeners and directing them towards the presentation's objective. And number 7, they offer an opportunity to teach and convey complex ideas. Number 8, they allow people who are uncomfortable in a group setting to interact with other people from the comfort of their own homes. Number 9, they are a quick and easy way to get an entire group of people together in one place. Number 10, the planning and conducting is simple and inexpensive. And finally, number 11, no matter what your level of expertise, you are able to conduct a teleseminar. In spite of all its good points, a teleseminar is not a replacement for a live attendance meeting. Some things can be afforded by a live attendance meeting that cannot be derived from a teleseminar, such as networking opportunities and the ability to form relationships through personal contact. They are intended to be a tool to complement in-person seminars rather than replace them.
Thank you for listening. For more teleseminar resources, such as sample seminar forms and other useful links, visit us on the web at www.telesemina-basics.com/download. That's www.teleseminar-basics.com/download.